Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Evictors Podcast. I'm Jeremy Brown. So there's a lot to unpack right now, so I'm just going to kind of give you like a little short briefing of what's basically going on in the Michigan program. So first of all, there's a lot of reports that Jim Harbaugh will be getting a contract extension through 2026, anywhere from like $6 to $8 million a year, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And so I don't understand why they wouldn't stick to their main plan. So let me get into the NFL rumors later. So right now, let's just talk about the contract on the table. So supposedly $6 to $8 million a year. There's a contract on the table to 2026, so it'd be another 5-year contract. And I think it's ridiculous. I think why wouldn't you just stick with the original 3-year at most contract that you can cut him at any time, and then there are benefits, etc. of if he does better, blah, blah, blah. Why wouldn't you just stick to that? And now let's get into if it's an NFL thing. Because if it's an NFL thing, if Jim is trying to pursue the NFL and trying to look for other jobs, then get him out of here. Like, what are you doing? You're the University of Michigan. This guy has not performed for you, and you're just letting him walk all over you. Well, let me just check to see if I get an offer from the Lions or whoever, or let me just look into the NFL for a little bit. No, get him out of here. Then get someone who wants to be here. Get someone who will just right at the contract. Like, you put it on the table. Like that. He just accepts it. Because we can't have someone in here who doesn't want to be here, who wants to be in the NFL more. Because if he wanted to be here more than the NFL, then he'd take this contract right away. It's for millions of dollars. It's a great deal. It's at his alma mater. But obviously he doesn't really want to be here that much anymore. So he wants to be back in the NFL. So get him out of here. If he takes this contract, I don't know how much I'm going to cover Michigan football anymore. I think I'm going to broaden my channel. Because I can't sit through another 5 years of this, of just such mediocre play and letdowns. It's literally like the 2019 Penn State game literally sums up everything he's been here. It's just you come close. Maybe you have a good year. That's your second half against Penn State. That's one of your good years, and you come close, but you're just too short. You're always too short, and JT was not short. So it's basically like I don't know how much I can cover this football team anymore. It's ridiculous. It's so disheartening watching them and watching their staff and watching the heads at Michigan make terrible decisions. Like, you think Nick Saban or Ryan Day runs the program the same way that Jim Harbaugh does? No, because Michigan has certain stipulants that he cannot cross. There's lines he can't cross, and so he can't do the things that he wants to do that will probably most likely make the team better. I don't know how much he was involved in the Don Brown firing case. I think he really wanted Don Brown out of here. It was probably the higher-ups at Michigan holding on to Don Brown as long as they could. Maybe it was both, but still, Nick Saban has so many more opportunities for them to get better that Jim Harbaugh doesn't have. And it's not like we don't have the resources. We're as rich as Alabama. It's because we're just not allowed to. Jim's not allowed to do these things. So even if we do get a new coach, like hypothetical, what if Ryan Day quit, Dabo quit, whoever, biggest names in college football quit, Nick Saban quit, try to come to Michigan? They would not have the same success they had down there at other schools because they don't have the same resources. Like I said, not because we don't have them, it's because they don't give them to the coaches. They don't allow them to do the same things. I'm not talking about cheating. I don't think Nick Saban cheats. There's never been any instance of anyone reporting cheating. So obviously there is no cheating at this point. I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just talking about resources, being able to coach the way you want to coach, being able to do the things you want to do as the head coach, and not being held back by your staff. Like, I remember when Rich Rod was hired, and then a few years later, I was listening to one of his podcasts when he was on a podcast, and he was talking about how he accidentally said like the word y'all or something, and like the Michigan higher-ups were like actually got mad at him, like the president actually got mad at him. And at the time he thought it was funny, like they were just joking, but they were serious. And like he talked about a lot of the things that he couldn't do that he needed to do to win, and that just sucks. And I also think they cut Rich Rod a year short because I don't think Brady Hoke had just this amazing season. He had all of Rich Rod's recruits, and Rich Rod was just building up, and he never got the chance to actually coach there. Like Jim Harbaugh probably never got the chance to actually have his full potential because he's not allowed the same things to do that Nick Saban would do. So right now, if Jim's looking into the NFL, good for him. Get out of here. Please let him go at this point because like I don't even want to say like I like him anymore because he doesn't want to coach here. Obviously, if he hasn't taken the deal yet, this thing has been going on for months. Well, I wouldn't say months. They probably talked about it for months, but the actual deal negotiations were going on for like the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So this thing's been going on for weeks. He was supposed to have a new deal months ago. He obviously doesn't want to be here if he's still looking into the NFL, looking to get any other better job. So just let him leave. So take the contract off the table. Get someone new. Matt Campbell. Whoever you want. Brent Venables. And please don't go in the comments and say, oh, he just got destroyed by Ohio State. One bad game. And Ohio State was just a superpower. There's nothing he can do. He dropped back the safeties. There were multiple touchdowns Justin Fields threw that just like a 40-yard bomb, and he dropped those safeties back, and they still couldn't cover the receivers. I don't know. Would you double cover them? You take away, put them on Chris Olave, then you leave another man open, and those linebackers are not fast enough. Well, what's his name probably was, but he got ejected. So he was really the leader of their defense, and I don't really know. It was the right call for him since he definitely speared Justin Fields. I don't know if it was targeting. That's the thing. I don't know if those two calls are merged now because I knew the old rule was spearing, but it wasn't to the head or neck area, so I wouldn't know if it was targeting. But if it was a bad enough spearing, it's probably targeting anyways. So he's out. He's your best. I think he was a middle linebacker. He's the best guy in their defense, and that was just huge. And Brent Venables had one bad game. Not to mention that Trevor Lawrence couldn't really get started on offense, and that's a very offense-oriented team. So, this is the Victors Podcast. As always, go blue.